just noticed on the playback, playing back some of the scenes recorded on the camera phone earlier. Damn, that's a lot of bass pickup on the microphone. And I seriously had to dial down the the crossovers on the DCX going to the THX sound system. I'm only using Butterworth 6dB and I'm dialing it back down to about 500 hertz for the LCR. I'm only using the multi-stereo out. But really, it's still got a heck of a lot of low end on that. So that's not bad with the tuning that I did on the amplifiers, the NX. Oh. So there's my output levels. It's a little bit out on the, it's a little bit out, but that's probably, it's not out of position on the actual system. That's because of the camera phone microphone positioning. There's a bit too much pulled on, recorded in on the right microphone than there is on the left. And yet the camera's down the position centre line of the room. Oh, and then I was talking, and I noticed.
Feels like a bloody earthquake.
Feels like a bloody earthquake.
I can imagine seeing this at the Empire and DTS THX sound system. But it's good here.
They're not bad, these NX amplifiers, but got to make sure that you got your output level stage, you know, raised up. And so, you know, if you use these as amplifiers for, say, doing two-way speakers for bass cab and a HF horn, you know, make sure you got your output level is set right. Otherwise, the input level will start clipping. But I didn't get any of that problem last night. But it just sounds. The microphone on this, yeah, it picked up reasonably well, and it's not it's distorting or anything like these car hi-fi things that boom and all the hair floating around and it's like, you know, all you get is a sound that goes you can't, bloody hell, is that what the bass sounds like? Crying out loud, that's overloading, seriously overloading the microphone. Because I'm not sure what the tolerance is on this camera phone, or if it's got, say, maybe a built-in audio limiter, so it will go up to a certain level and it won't go any higher. But picks up all right. Picks up okay. I get a bit of the stereo sound pickup of the room, but not a whole lot. I mean, the rocket going past, going on from centre to over to right surround channel. Roaring, literally. But not like a real thing, because the real thing, you know, you get a lot of air turbulence and it'll blow you all over the bloody place. And then then the engine bell will come on top of you and then barbecue you. Yeah, it picked up okay, and I've got nice dialogue intelligibility out over the mix. And it's a decent mix. You know, I could put another movie on and it's absolutely going to sound appalling. But it's a good mix on the movie. And even on the playback there, even though I've got the crossovers set at 500 hertz, if I play the actual movie, I'd have to set those crossovers back to normal position, because it's only the camera that's emphasizing and adding on what the room is, and so it's not like a, say, like a proper, like these YouTube videos, but it's not bad. I've heard where other home theatres where the sound, the dialogue is absolutely appalling. The room is echoing, and well, the bass is not picking up very well, like they're trying to show it off, and the high end frequency is not being picked. Otherwise, also the high frequency emphasizes, it gets picked up way, and it sounds very raspy than it actually is, because the camera's exaggerating a bit of it. And of course, like I say, where the camera's positioned in the room, you get different. If I go a little bit closer, did the same thing, or even with, say, pink noise, and then do pink noise here, and then move the camera forward, and listen to pink noise again, and then cut back to this position, it will sound different. But I'm not sure what, say, like the camera's frequency curve is, or the microphone, or so forth and such. It's a bit awkward to measure it, to get an understanding. Otherwise, I could use the video. I don't know why I don't use my Sony Handycam 4K. It's because that's got a better microphone on it. It's got VU meters, so I can see whether or not it's clipping. I guess that this phone would have to have some sort of audio limiter on it, some sort of compressor of a sort. And like I say, you've got to keep them horizontal to record stereo, because the microphones are placed one over here and the other one is over here. And then when you've got the phone in vertical position, it only records in mono, I think. I have tried it and have noticed it. And so you've got to have it in horizontal position for record stereo, and plus you get wider image. You don't get this. But anyway, I'm not picking a little bit maybe at my result. I'm thinking I might just trim it a little bit, but I'm only trying to get it to reproduce back the frequencies of the sound mix. So anything like, say, Star Trek to the Wrath of Khan, a little bit maybe more on Star Trek 3, because these sound mixes are very complexly mixed, and a lot of detail goes into them, unlike some of the movies, some movies today where I'm not really particularly interested in. Like when Captain Kirk is kicking that Klingon, and you got this planet earthquake, or Genesis quaking, planet quaking, destroying itself, and they're the only two souls on the planet slugging it out, and Kirk suddenly developing a consciousness, because he's human. But the Klingon's an animal. They're animals. And it's just like, when he's kicking the Klingon, boom, I have had enough. You feel that kick. Whilst all the bass rumbling is going on screen channel left and right, and I think a little bit maybe in the LFE. Maybe. I know the LFE, or the baby boom track, it only comes on as and when at certain points during the movie. Not all the time it's active, but there's a heck of a lot of low end in those screen channels. A heck of a lot of low end. And directionality of it, it's directional. That bass is bloody directional, as it was in the Empire. It was bloody best sound system I ever bloody heard in a large auditorium, period, hands down. And like, say, you know, in Star Trek 2, there's quite a lot of bass in it, a lot of, you know, to play back and reproduce and have it played back, so certain things are not too boomy, or it's gonna distort. You know, that's got to be figured out, and you know, you got to get all this, like, you know, and when you compare it to other cinemas, it's like, yeah, I can hear bass, but I can't really feel it, unless it was this scene here, where it had a particularly high range, a dynamic range going on, and I just noticed it, felt it just a bit. But it's like wham, go to THX cinemas, it's like wham, it's in your face, in your body, pressing against you, and it's like you can feel the bass kind of moving, like seeing arachnophobia in THX and feeling the bass moving across my body to where, and the directionality of the screen channels, and not just that, but a kind of more three-dimensional of up and down sort of movement in the bass that I noticed during the final confrontation in the attic, the cellar, with the spider, and they got the Trevor Jones music score playing. Wow. And really hitting some real deep low notes, and the reproduction of it was pressing hard and directional as well at that THX cinema at High Wycombe. Wicked, awesome. And the cinemas today, the Atmos ones, are what? Load of rubbish. Never heard anything like it. Absolute rubbish today. The BH2 downtown, load of rubbish. £15 to watch a bloody movie down it, and it's more all top end, and it's ear deafening. You got to wear earplugs. I don't know how anyone else can bear it. You know, they must be lost all their bloody high frequency on their bloody hearing. All you get is a little bit of bass down there now and then, not constant like what it was like. Seen a few movies there, and it's that's enough. Had enough of it, because I'm fed up wearing earplugs. If I thought my system was gonna be that, I wouldn't be wearing earplugs. I'll turn the fader down, or I'll go back at it, analyze what's doing that. Why is it doing that? And that's probably not what they bothered even doing at the BH2 downtown. Because I went and saw this movie, and then I saw that, and it's like no different. It's just deafening. And in real life, natural rain and wind and all that isn't deafening. You don't wear earplugs. I can't imagine. I can't even think once where I've worn earplugs when it's raining, thunderstorm, or any of that out, because it sounds natural, and I could still put two hands together and rustle my hands and still hear my hands rustling, rubbing against each other. In this bloody BH downtown, I can't even hear that, for Christ's sake. It's all bloody mid and top range, and usually the rustling your fingers, that's not a low frequency. So even though I'm doing that, and I can feel low frequency because I can feel it in my hands, I can feel low frequency there, but audibly it's a middle and high range sort of sound. It is what it is. Anyway. Anyway, these formula things, they only apply to my you know, and checking them, making sure that the consistency across the screen channels is okay, and going over and check, you know, not Odyssey, Dirac. Bloody hell. You need to manually go in and do that, yourself, and then you learn how to tune and analyze. Say, you got to say, like, listen to the bass channel, analyze it. have all the HF switched off and analyze the bass frequency curve, listen to any anomalies that might, because all bass drivers may not be the same and they might need a slight adjustment to make them sound all the same. Yes. And then adding them all together at the same time so that they all add up, sound pressure, and it doubles up. And if you see it subtracting, then one's out of phase. Polarity is a reverse polarity. It's okay with a DCX, if I wanted to reverse the polarity, if I thought, because sometimes if you reverse the polarity or such on one, you get this specific bass rhythm effect, and you can feel this it's like something taking your hand and tapping your side of your ear there. In a certain way, you get this like a tapping effect, like with the bass, and it's like occasionally I'm doing this sort of thing. I'm like, it's like wow. But then you stick headphones on and listen, and it's like, it's not doing it with the headphones. And it's like, could one of the speakers be purposely have the polarity reversed on the bass cab, or maybe the whole left or one of the right purposely, ideally, they should be all the same polarity. Anyway, so I got a good bass sound going across, got a good HF going across. Still need to double check up, because I only mostly did this last week and literally just did it direct through, and just listening, looking at the RTA, and then just thought, okay, I'll put a cut there because I know what those horns' characteristic frequency response is. I'll put a PEQ there, and I'll cut the frequency down, right down, so it can pick up a bit of the bass mid a little bit more lower down in the range. Otherwise, it's going to be the high rate. It's going to go up like that, and so I'll just bring it down, kind of flatten, make it flat and evenish, and then leave it a little bit so it's going up on the high frequency up a little bit, so it climbs up a little bit, so you can perceive those little 8 kilohertz, 9 kilohertz, 8,000 kilohertz, depending if you're having a good day and you can hear it. Yeah, that's just about that. So I have to read the manual for this, how to program that. I have to read that, how to program the, because you say rename the amp, so I have to call this such and NX3000D number 1, or LR for left right, and the other one for CS, that's center and surround below, which is below surround. I use the other one for, and the other one for LC, RC. So I have to name them, give them a name, and plug the other USB leads into them, into the computer, and then theoretically I think I should be able to stay on the same, and switch through, I guess. I don't think you can duplicate this and bring up 3 of these on the screen, so you got say multitudes of these all at the same time, because you can't shrink these. There's nothing that you can put the mouse around it or say, no, that just let it go. You just can't shrink it, reduce it down, and so you could put a little box up there and you can still see the levels and everything, because that would be useful for getting things spot on, etc. Level checking, etc. with the meter levels. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, and I think then you just probably, I don't know, I guess you click on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so forth. I don't know. No experience. Never used it. Never used it. And you got refresh, which can't do anything. Oh, then you press refresh and then connect again. I think it's still connected to the system. Where is it? Yeah, I'll switch that bloody mono movie mode, whatever it is. Bloody dreadful sounding on the denim.
Is she any better? Her temperature's gone even higher.
Bloody echo is terrible.
Something we could do.
I mean, it's like I've got you got an echo effect, but it doesn't really make the dialogue unintelligible. There's some things that I could add purposely. There's another thing I can do here. If I wanted a mono spread over the screen channel, I'll just assign the DCX here, because this is channel, that's A, and then B, and then C, and this is channel 1, 2, which is on A, 2 and 3 and 4. 3 and 4 are on channel B. 5 and 6 are on channel C. So all I'll do is assign the left and the right to channel B as well. And if I go into the, where is it, time delay. Which one should I delay now? Which would be simple. Hang on, I'll just delay the center. And I'm just going to put a ridiculous amount of delay on it of about maybe 100 foot. Oh, now it's echoing. So, yeah, it's a little bit almost better than what the Marantz denim can do. Wait for some dialogue to come up, and then you hear the echo a bit more. I can hear it in the music score and these sound effects. See? Bingo, got echo. Simple. So, if, you don't have to use that for a bloody, what's it, just use the time delay on the Behringer and just put a long time delay in. If I really put a really long time delay in, and it's going to sound like really out of sync, so to speak. But it's easy to do. It's no mystery. It's no mystery. That's about 100 foot, that is. On there I added about 100 foot, which is how many milliseconds? I can just barely read it down there. I'm not sure if it says 90 point something. I think it says about 90 point something. 33. I can just barely read it down there. It's about 90 something millisecond. So that's easy. I want to hear it again. I actually kind of like it. I think it's better than the actual Denon. Of course, when I pause it, you know what that sounds like now? Sounds like that aura. Because it doesn't matter what. There's no time delay that I use on the AVR. A funny thing I saw. I had to post it the other day because I thought it was a total load of bullshit. That someone posted something. He got really funny with me, but I ended up liquidating him. You mean no, liberating? You mean liquidating? That's the way it is, you know. So I thought it was such a load of nonsense that, oh yeah, add on simultaneously an extra time delay on your Marantz or your Denon, right? And it will make Top Gun Maverick sound phenomenal. I thought, that is such a load of baloney. And someone else was even reading it and thought that was a laugh. What is this? What is this? April Fools? It's it's a little bit early for April Fools. And I asked the guy. I asked him, kind of, you know, not nasty. I asked to say, post a video to prove this otherwise. And then he got really snotty with that comment. I thought, what bloody hell did I say? I only said, say, hey, you know, do a video to prove otherwise. Because, you know, it's a load of nonsense. If you add on extra delay, it's no more different than it is at... That thing is usually, I think it's set at 0.00 delay, or is it, I think it might be 0.5 or whatever. It doesn't really go down much on this thing. For a flagship, I think it's a bloody, the delay time on it is a load of bloody rubbish. Distances, that's it, distances. Oh yeah, it does go down to 0. I think it might be the Sonkyo that only goes down to 0.5. That's the most it goes down to. It can't go any lower. It should really, but yeah. And these only go up in 1 foot steps. You got feet, and I think the other one's meters. Yeah. So yeah, they only go up in 1 foot steps, not like it should be 0.1 steps like you can go on the DCX. You can go up in tiny minute steps. I could still do that delay echo effect even on this, but I have to go back to this mode over here, so I'll turn the delay off there. Okay, so I switched it back over to the
this weather front's going to limit the air operations effectiveness. We need more ships in this area. Get me sink plant fleet operations. Sir.
I'm not sure how many feet I can add on. I think this Denon has got a limitation. So if I were to purposely add on, say 60 foot is about the most. Let's see if it adds. I don't know if that I think it's added on. Go back to the distancing. No, it's gone to 20 foot. So I added on 60, but the Denon won't have it, and the Marantz I doubt would even have it as well. So that's some sort of flaw, you know. You can't purposely add a long delay. A deliberate long delay. Denon, Marantz, thumbs down. Load of rubbish, garbage, cat litter box. So I'll just go back to the Denon. You know, it's like I say, you got to add on P8 outboard equipment if you want a good home cinema. That's just mainly just a bloody decoder for codec for decoding your bloody disc, your laser disc or whatever, and that's it. That's about as much as the bloody thing can do. How many people often use the bloody radio on it? I very rarely use the radio, maybe about less than 1%. I use the radio on that. The FM internet or the internet radio, you'll use it less than 1%. Yeah. Biggest waste of load of rubbish money I ever spent on an AVR. Actually, I value that bloody Onkyo up there a bit more than this bloody Denon. In fact, the Onkyo could do just a little bit more better. I think if I were to purposely add on delays, I'm not sure if they will, yeah, you know, but I can add a delay on here, like, hey, so let's go for it. I'll go for it, hey. I'm going to add on a really ridiculous delay. Literally, I think it goes up to about 1,000 foot. That's over a mile, isn't it? I think it's just over about a mile. I'm really adding it on here. Where's it go? I'm not sure if it's 500 foot. I can barely see that there. What's that say? I can barely see my graph. I think it's under 1,000 foot. 600. What's that say? 656 feet. That's 577 millisecond delay. So it's going to sound like one of those Japanese movies with the subtitling. And he went, and Chinani, no, I'll have you there. Yeah, it's going to sound like that with the bloody lip syncing. Because it's a ridiculous amount of time delay. It's not going to have a good, decent echo effect. It's going to sound really terrible. Jesus Christ. And it echoes with, like, you hear it? Did you hear it? Jesus Christ. So it's got that of about maybe, yeah, several milliseconds time delay. Yeah, so that's predictable. I knew it was going to sound like that. Especially when pausing it. You can hear that sort of, you know, because the sound is being held back so by about 560 feet on the center channel. And he's thinking, what the bloody hell were you putting that long time delay on here for? Because I'm experimenting. Oh, bloody hell, I can't stand it. It's terrible. I've got to set it back to about 100 foot. 100 foot was okay. Maybe 90 or 80 foot would be okay-ish. Let's dial that back down to 100 foot. Some things are good with bearings with DCX. Other things, it's got pros and cons. That's not too bad. I'll set it, try it. 80 feet. About 80 foot. That's not too bad. It almost sounds as similar to 100 foot. So it's like say, being in an auditorium that's about 100 foot long. Yeah. So I could do a stereo, not a real stereo spread, kind of like a pseudo, kind of like stereo effect. I think one of the, I've got an AVR or something in the, I only used it once or a few times, a Pioneer, and it's got, I think, simulated stereo mode, where it's putting a delay on one of the, and that's all it is. It's a prefixed delay to give a kind of, because you're going to notice this echo effect. It's not too bad. Of course, I can still understand dialogue and such. In an auditorium that's really got that sort of thing, you can't really, undo it too much unless you put serious absorbent material to knock down that echo delay until it sounds like, not like I wouldn't know what an anechoic chamber sounds like, but I get the idea. If I put my earplugs in, I can get the similar impression of what an anechoic chamber would sound like, because I can hear the blood pumping in my ears going. I can hear that, and you can't really do it with your fingers because your hand is going to slightly vibrate, wobble. So you got to put earplugs in, and then everything's sealed, and then you can hear this. So, yeah, kind of like semi-coic, anechoic. The idea is you hear directionality from your surrounds, or diffused, and getting frequency, and it's awkward because being here in the off axis, I'm there, so I'm near to this one, so I'm going to hear certain high frequency mid-range from there. Over this side here, it's equal distance between here, the seating, and then the same with the back row, and because I designed it that way, so the speakers are kind of like dipolish, like dipolar, not bipolar. So you're getting the sound frequency, sound pressure level on the SPL meter, and getting them all to sound more or less the same all round. Proper. If I wanted to use 7.1, I can use 7.1 and have it discrete on the back, but I can not been using 7.1 recently much. I'm slowly phasing out, moving away from it. People change. We our bodies, we change every so many years, and I don't know why or how. It's elusive, I guess, but we change and phase out of things, and just like my cats, they have phase changing, like the chameleon, and they do strange things because they're predatorily hunters and they are competition, and I'm not sure how a cat would be on its own. I know when I had Sooty on his own, he would take his time eating his meal. He never rushed it. When I got Magic, he even though the bowls were kept apart between them, I think they were slow, calm. Since I lost my Sooty and I got Bear, and oh dear, it's like Magic now, he eats really quick because he senses something about bear. Because he wants to have his. It's like if you go and disturb someone having a meal, you're going to get into a fight. It's the same thing with cats, and they can end up getting into a fight, and you got to break them up, and it's very awkward. But it's got everything to do with echo to time delay, because there is a time delay with cats and how quick they're eating. There's a time delay. Usually when you eat too fast quickly, you get indigestion, and particularly when you got cat that has hairballs and been sick occasionally, and then you give them a meal after they've been sick. Not a good idea. It's leave it many hours and then give them a meal. But how they give the meow and listening to the tone of the meow, the vocabulary of the meow, the signature frequency sound of the meow, and it's like saying, "Can you please feed me?" And it's like, you don't understand. You've been fed 5 minutes ago. Have I? It's like sometimes we have urges and we think we want to eat another meal after we've had one, and it's like we're not starving, and it's like you eat more and then you only cause yourself problems. It's the same with amplifiers, giving it too much input, and then you get soft clipping. It can't digest it very well. You got to have the balance right, and then you got to get the output level balanced, so you get a bit more output. So you are not going to get distortion. You get good, clean, solid thumping bass through the octaves. It's kind of like that. So yeah.
So the rescue units get here? I hope.
Christ, Mr. Buchek, I'm glad to see you.
I'll give you a hand with her.
But you said it was only going to hurt a little.
So if I were to purposely strip all this down, literally, and that would take hours to take all this acoustical foam down. It would take hours. And then because there's some people have done videos before because they've seen other videos, and you pop a balloon and then you got your microphone and all that, the REM going and such, and then you see what the time delay is, the reverberation that is. It will say then so many milliseconds, and it may not be too bad, but you're still going to get pinging sound effects on certain high frequencies. If you were to play certain sounds coming from where the speakers are located, and then kind of play them, the sine wave tone on off on and off on and off on and off, and the REM can do it pretty good, I think. That's another long video. So I put all my settings back on my DCX back to normal. I like the echo effect, but I rather it not be And as per the other video I did, was talking about putting an echo. I'm not sure if it was this video or another video, I can't remember. It's hard to keep track. Talking about putting multiplexing, literally multiplexing microphones with two Yamaha DSP 100s and creating a kind of like, so if I clap my hand, it would echo in the room. Therefore, I've got like a simulated artificial echo effect in a treated room. that would boggle your mind. I'll try 6 point, yeah. So what is that sounding on my center channel? Yeah, that's sounding on my center channel. Yeah, so you can on the REM, you know, just get your mouse and then do that. If you had a room that's untreated and you're playing some high frequencies, you would hear a sort of pinging effect. You get your direct sound coming from your speaker, and you hear a pinging, an annoying pinging effect in your room. You don't want to be listening to that, I'm afraid to say. You don't need it. It just makes the sound worse. So I just get a direct nice sound there. I think I get 8 kilohertz. I'll push it up, go up to 10k. Of course, I've got to turn the fader up a little bit. Oh, I can pinch that sound. Oh, wow. I'll go down to 8 kilohertz, turn the fader down a little bit. Wow. It's too bad the action here is not pretty fast enough, otherwise. Oh, almost did it. Because it was kind of going even though when I stopped it, because the computer's getting confused. I can't do it like, I can't tap it like Morse code. I think it's a bit more lower than 1 kilohertz. Morse code key in it. I might think it's 1 kilohertz. Could be. I'm just trying to centralize the tone frequency of the Morse code tone signature. I'd have to be on my CB radio. I haven't got a Morse code key, so I can't tap Morse code. It's so difficult. I mean, dot dash is A, I think. Dot dash dash is B. Dot dash 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 C. Dot. I'm not sure if that is. I might have it muddled back to front because I haven't done Morse code in decades. It took me about 30 days to learn the bloody memorize the alphabet in Morse code. And then you got numeracy as well. You got the alphabet, and then you got the numeracy. Then bloody hell! And the coding, it alternates and such. And whew, blimey, it's memorizing and then be able to send, and then listening to the tones coming back and then writing them down. Oh dear. It takes a bit of skill. Dedicated skill. No, it doesn't do it. It's not the same. It's the wrong frequency. No, it's the wrong frequency. You gotta listen to actual Morse code, and the tone is on a certain frequency. Let me see. Oh, right, there we go. So it's dash and dot 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 for B and but what's the frequency? Let's play that. Oh, it is around 1 kilohertz. Okay. Da 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 da. Mhm. It's an interesting graphic. Not seen this one before. Because it's a very difficult thing to learn and understand, and as long as you know you can find ways to how to interpret the learning process of it, and you know someone might understand this one, and I seem to understand it. I got the idea of it. Dash and dot dash dot dot. Yeah, dot dash 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 for O, yeah, or SOS. P P P P Q Q Q Q Q Q Q Q Q R R R R R R R R R R R S S S S S dot 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 dash and dot. Oh, just dash 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 dash. I wonder if it'll do letters, numbers. Let's go through. Does it do numbers? No, it stops it. It just does the alphabet, and then it kind of like alternates and almost like reads almost like the letters, but it's just the sequencing is just differently positioned. Oh, there, but I don't use it anymore. The Morse code very rarely used today. I hear a little bit sometimes on the 28 megahertz. But it's something that's it's not hardly used now. I think they actually sort of kind of say like phased it out during a few decades ago, but some like to still use it. You know, you can use it for sending data and such. Yeah, interesting. Another long bloody video, 50 minutes, 52 minutes, ridiculous.